All over the world, animals suffer at the hands of humanity. Countless animals are brutalized every single day. Many people object to this. But why should we? There are many reasons to care. Rational reasons. Our morality should not be based on emotions or intuitions. Our morality should be based on rationality. The brutalization of animals is a threat to our most fundamental interests. On our most fundamental level, we are sentient beings who can suffer. The normalization of cruelty and brutality is not in the interest of one who can suffer. The corrosion of empathy and compassion is not in the interest of one who can suffer. Widespread desensitization to depravity is not in the interest of one who can suffer. A society that aggressively opposes suffering is in the interest of one who can suffer. These are our fundamental moral maxims. These rational moral maxims identify fundamental sentient interests. The brutalization of animals is incompatible with these rational moral maxims. Some may claim that convenience and pleasure justify an exception to these moral maxims. As far as rational moral maxims are concerned, there can be no exceptions. The exception is the death of the rule. Allow for exceptions, and every immorality becomes the exception. Exceptions undermine and destroy overwhelmingly valuable moral rules. We can either have the occasional convenient exception, or we can have strong moral rules that serve us the vast majority of the time. We can only have one. The rational choice is clear. And rigid moral rules are a great thing. Overcomplicate your self-interest, and soon you will lose sight of it. Soon you will be undermining it. Confusion, disorientation, and uncertainty is not in our interest. Rational maxims that facilitate the effective pursuit of self-interest are: the widespread brutalization of animals is a threat to all who can suffer. We learn to tolerate cruelty, we learn to overlook brutality, we learn to accept depravity, we learn to deactivate our moral compass. We become desensitized to suffering. This creates conditions that are a threat to all who can suffer. Conditions ideal for barbarism and inhumanity. Conditions that we who can suffer must aggressively oppose. And there are other considerations too. We are precedent-based creatures. Every action contributes to precedent. Actions reinforce, undermine, and create precedent. Precedent guides human behavior. Every action writes the guidelines that others will live by. What precedent do you establish when you make another suffer for your own gain? A precedent that is a threat to you and everyone else. We are social beings. The capacity for empathy and compassion greatly enriches the life of the social being. We must maintain and enhance these capacities. We can only thrive as social beings if we do so. We must not let these capacities be destroyed by brutality and inhumanity. Caring for the well-being of others is in our interest. Reducing suffering is in our interest. This is an egoistic justification of altruism. You should care about the well-being of animals. Caring is in your interest. We must seek to eradicate cruelty and brutality. We must abolish cruel and inhumane practices. We must prohibit and punish cruelty and brutality. We must establish basic rights for animals. We must build a humane society. That is what we must do.